It's finally here. Such a big week, and I'm just juggling so many things right now, but it has already taught me so much. Because of my time constraints this week, I feel like I've been more productive than ever. And not that productivity has to be your measure for success, but I'm definitely feeling re-energized. I feel like I'm having this like weird senioritis with spring where I still have a couple of weeks left in my winter season with my shop, but I have all these ideas and seeds that I've been planting that I want to start implementing on, and I'm just telling myself, focus on your priorities right now, and we will get to that hopefully next week. But this week, I am part of this annual community dance show, and I do it every year, and it is so much fun. It's just such a nice activity to have in the wintertime outside of skiing, but it's this community performance. There are, I think, 16 pieces, and we have 4 sold out shows, and it's all happening this week. So every night I have dress rehearsals and then the actual show nights. So it totally changes my work schedule, it changes my output, and just having me rework a couple of things in the business this week to make sure I'm available. But it's also made me think so much about the concept of play. And by play, I mean doing something for fun that has nothing to do with your business, it has nothing to do with productivity, and it doesn't have anything to do with reaching certain goals and milestones. For example, a lot of us have hobbies, and we then decide we want to monetize them. Or maybe we do something like go to the gym. But that is also a goal-oriented thing for most people. And so throughout the winter, when I go to my rehearsals, it is a chance to just totally unplug. You have to pay attention because you're learning this choreography. And then there's the result of this big show at the end of the season. And the reason we put on the show is it's basically a fundraiser for youth scholarships for dance in my community. And it's really just this form of play. And I listened to this podcast last week that was just so impactful already. I'll link it down below, but it is about the concept of play. It's called The Play Revolution, and how we as adults don't really do that very much, or not a lot of adults do, or you think of it as not adulting or not being grown up, but in reality a lot of us have just lost that magic and feel like we don't have permission to do that anymore. And I think a lot about my life and my business and how that works in, and I feel like I do give myself lots of chances to play. Like, I love going skiing, we go on hikes all the time and that kind of thing, and most of the time it's not even with this like end goal in mind. Like, I know for a lot of people they're like, oh, I want to summit all these peaks, or I want to, blah blah blah, ski this many days, and I've kind of let go of that a long time ago. But it just really had me thinking, and we've been talking a little bit about it in the Discord community, but what do you think about that? Do you do things in your life that are acts of play? And if you don't, is there something that you've been wanting to try that has no reason for it, but just for the sake of trying it? I'd love to know. But I'm gonna stop talking to you because, like I said, my time is shorter this week, and so I've been trying really hard to stick to the plan that I laid out for myself and prioritize the things that I really need to do. And right now, I need to get these hats finished for Ohana, because on top of just having dance all week, they need hats by this afternoon. It's only Tuesday, and usually I drop off on Fridays, but this week they're taking a bunch of them down to their other store in Breckenridge, so I need to drop them off earlier this week. So I'm trying to get that all done. My mind is just buzzing, so I really wanted to share, but I'll talk to you later. Good morning. I'm feeling a little tired this morning, but also just buzzing with all of this really excited energy. I don't know if it's all this like changing of the seasons or whatever, and it's dance theater week, so it's just been a lot of fun and a little bit different from my regular routine. We've been having dress rehearsals every night. Last night I was there from like 5 till 8:30, and then we had dinner after, so it's just been a lot of energy output and a lot of fun, and just really seeing all of this work we've been doing behind the scenes for the last few months really come to fruition on the stage, and it's just fun. And I did not grow up dancing or anything, and it's amazing seeing the creativity of all these different choreographers and just the amazing dancers that we have. And I like to dance, but it takes me a lot more to like learn the choreography and stuff like that, but it is so much fun. I've been doing it for the last 8 years, and it's just a cool outlet. But one of the pieces that I'm in, and it just makes me think so much of this business transformation and pivot that I'm in as well. But this show, there's always a theme. The show itself happens to be Metamorphosis, and one of the pieces that I'm in, we are actually all moths going through a metamorphosis, and it's just kind of crazy the parallels between that particular piece that I'm in and just what's going on in my life and in my business right now. So it's a crazy coincidence, but it's just wild to have gone through the process of learning this piece and perfecting this piece as a performance, while also going through this transformation in my business where after this week, I feel like I'm officially in this next chapter of the business. And I have a whole video plan to tell you everything about it in detail next week. But March and April are just such big pivotal moments in my business, and a lot of really crazy and important things happened for me in March, including an accident that I got in that totally changed my life and put me on this new path and trajectory to starting my business down the line. So yeah, just all these crazy thoughts and feelings swirling around in my brain. I think I was talking about this feeling of senioritis yesterday, where I'm like, I can't quite move on yet and split my focus too much. And especially this week with the time constraints, I'm like, just focus on my priorities. But yesterday, when I dropped off at Ohana, they were once again almost sold out. So it's just this feeling of kind of being on my heels this year that I don't like to have. I like to be really prepared, but equally, I'm not willing to sacrifice my time and time away in order to make it happen, if you know what I mean. So it's a fine balance, because there are definitely seasons of grind when it's like, I'm gonna stay up late because I just want to make sure this gets done. But that's also why I think it's important to celebrate wins too, in life and business, whether they're big or they're small. But one of my biggest wins was I put out a weekly newsletter and a weekly YouTube video every single week. There was definitely a couple times that I was late on the video, but I did a newsletter every single week, and I'm just really proud of that. And it's really just helped me hone in that skill and exercise that muscle of, figuring out what to talk about, and just drawing from either stories from my life or current events or whatever to tie it in with the business, and even just helpful takeaways to share with everyone in the newsletter. It's just this really special community, and I feel like I've gotten so many more responses this year and just people replying in the newsletter, so it's just really fun to see how helpful it is. And there's a section that has nothing to do with business, but just like fun recs that I give every week. And I've gotten a lot of people who've been telling me that they love that. So if you're in my newsletter club, let me know. If you're not in it, you should join it. I'll put a link below. But it's just been a really fun way to stay in touch with everyone, especially in this age of like changing social media and me trying to divest from social media. But it takes time. So if you don't have a newsletter or don't have an email list yet, definitely start building it, because it is truly the best way to stay in touch with the people who really want to hear from you. But yeah, feeling all of this energy, there are so many thoughts, and it's such a busy week, but I'm just feeling so good. How is it already 2 o'clock? I do not know how time goes by that quickly, but I did get my email written and sent out. I'm working on more beanies. I have a meeting at 4. If I didn't tell you already, I signed up to be part of this 4-week kind of Mastermind mini course program with Jen from Coalition Snow, and it has honestly been so much fun, and I look forward to it every week. But we have an hour and a half session and like a Slack channel where we can chat during the week, but it's very thought-provoking, like prompts and exercises that we get to work through together. It's a really small group, but I feel like in that sense we get to know each other a little bit better and just talk about our businesses, or some of the gals don't have a business yet but are thinking about it. But all of these people are very like values driven creatives, and it really got me thinking, like, how can I create a space like that for our community here and do something like that? So I've been thinking a lot about how I can bring that to life, and that's one of the things I think I'm really looking forward to trying out in the spring and summer this year. So let me know if that is something you'd be interested in. I know I have the group trips, but I also know that the trips aren't as accessible for a lot of people. Like, you can't take a whole week off, or the dates just don't work out or whatever. But maybe something virtual would be cool. And of course, always, there's the Discord community that's free, so there's a link below to join that. But there's just nothing like this back and forth communication and being able to just work through things and chat about stuff. We have our full dress rehearsal tonight, so I have to leave right after the meeting. But wow, what a whirlwind of a week already. I know I keep saying that things are just feeling chaotic and wild, but I'm feeling good. Deep breaths, we're focusing, we're prioritizing. I don't know if I've ever brought you into my bathroom before, but I'm bringing you in here because I need to get ready for dance before I have that meeting, and I'm gonna be late for the dress rehearsal because the meeting runs right up to the point that I have to be there, so I want to be ready before I run off. But I wanted to pop on because I feel like this week it's been so interesting seeing my energy levels and everything like that while all this is going on, because normally I feel like we would just get so stressed, and I've been feeling really tired, but at the same time so energized and excited. And I think I already told you a little bit about that podcast episode I listened to about the concept of play, and it's just making me think so much about this week and dance, because dance for me is so fun. It's just a fun way to like move my body and hang out with friends that, I don't get to see every day necessarily, and just do something that's really fun and with no purpose behind it, you know what I mean? Because even my knitting, my hobbies, there's a purpose behind it. And, I guess I have stuff like skiing and camping and all that, but I feel like those things are also things that now that I've been bringing you along and documenting, it's part of my work as well. And I don't see them as work, but I think that's just naturally what happens. Oh, that didn't take as long as I thought. But from the episode, they were talking about how even play, especially when it's the type that makes you lose track of time, or it's like you've been so busy and stressed, but the time just melts away and all that stress goes away. It's like a lot of us have lost that, but I feel like I've been finding it in so many places, and it's just so fun being part of this. But this week I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna feel so stressed because I have so much to do. I have so much going on. And like I was saying earlier, I've been feeling behind and stressed, but for some reason this week I should be feeling more stressed. But what I'm actually feeling is just like super excited and like energized, and like I feel like I've even been more productive this week. Like, I've gotten a lot more done in less time. And yeah, I don't know, I think it's true also, like, you will fit your work into whatever time you allot yourself. And I have to be structured when I'm self-employed, but I also like try very hard to balance like getting in, going outside, walking Aria, maybe getting out to ski and things like that. But lately I feel like I have not been doing a very good job of that. So this week really makes me feel like I'm coming back to that flow, which feels really good. And it's kind of one of those things, it's kind of like habit forming, where the more you do it, the more you rewire your brain, and the more you find that flow, the easier it gets, and you kind of just start building on that energy and momentum. And it's just really cool seeing it play out in real time, especially right after I listened to that episode. I was like, how is this so appropriate right now to what I'm going through? And just really seeing it for what it is. So yeah, I just thought I'd share, bring you into my bathroom as I'm very poorly doing my hair for my first piece. But yeah, I need to finish doing all of this and then get ready for that meeting. I'm gonna show up to the meeting, they're gonna be like, what? This is so weird. I've never seen you look like this before. rather than maybe like if you only have limited.
I just wanna go out and walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you. You don't have to tell me anything that's new. I just wanna go out and walk with you. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine, sailing over pavement with our two outlines. I like to see the shape you're in from time to time. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine. I just wanna see the same things you can see, understand the meaning on a new degree. Maybe that could happen when you're next to me. I just wanna see the same things you can see.
It has been kind of a wild and weird past 24 hours. I was having quite the day yesterday and almost had like this mini meltdown about how marketing for the trip is going and content and engagement, and it's so stupid. And I know in my head that that stuff doesn't matter, but at the same time, and I know it's true for all of us, you can't help but just feel a little bummed. And it's so funny because I know we all know this consciously, but you still can't help feeling that way. And so I was just feeling really disappointed yesterday and kind of couldn't get myself out of that funk. And then, so crazy, but I was eating lunch and a knock came on the door and I was like, what the heck? And I had totally forgotten that my friend had asked if she could come over to pick my brain about some business stuff. And I was like, oh my God, of course. And so we're just chatting and like just brainstorming some stuff and new ideas. And it's kind of a cool little collaborative project we have going on. And it totally brought me out of that funk. It totally reminded me like, you do know what you're doing. What you do is something you really love. And people are seeing that and it's important. And so I think we all just get down on ourselves, no matter what our business is or what we're doing or what we do for work or whatever. It's just sometimes that little voice just creeps in and then you just get all caught up in that spiral. And it just reminded me too, and I feel like I say this again and again and again, but like having real in-person connection and getting able to just sit down to coffee with a friend, go on a little puppy walk with another friend, or whatever. Those things just really snap you out of those funks sometimes. And I know sometimes when you're in a funk, it kind of just makes you want to retreat even more. And, you know, I've definitely gone through periods of grief and really big grief where it was very debilitating and my brain was mushy. It was like I was living in a fog. I couldn't function for maybe a couple of months. And so I understand that too. But I also think we do get into these other littler funks that aren't as big, that are more just from us maybe feeling disappointed or coming up on a roadblock in our business or life or a goal that we've been really wanting to achieve or a dream that we've been working towards and something gets in the way. And so that happens all the time. it's just part of the journey. But a few weeks ago, I recorded a couple of podcast episodes with my friend Justine, who we are co-hosting the British Columbia Creative Camp. And one of the episodes released yesterday, so I just gave it a quick listen. And in the episode, I was like, oh my god, I'm actually making some good points. But it was a lot about failure and the evolution of being a creative, being a business owner, just being a human being in life. And none of these things that we call failures are actually failures. It's just a obstruction in the river that's moving us along on the journey of whatever it is we're pursuing. I'll link the episode down below. It's a really quick episode, but it just kind of reminded me too. I'm like, okay, whatever I was feeling yesterday, that is what that was. It was just an obstruction on the journey. It's part of it, and that's okay. And it's always a learning opportunity, right? Like any failure, it's just, I hate using that term, but anything we see as a failure might not actually be a failure. It might just not have been the right time or whatever, or it's actually pushing you towards or opening a door that you don't even know is about to open yet, right? So anyway, I know I'm being very vague about what that failure actually is, but I will reveal it pretty soon. But it has to do with some cool new adventure and group in-person opportunities that we might have in the near future. But yeah, and then I had to rush off to dance because we had our opening night last night, which was so fun. And this week I've been talking all about just play and the power of play and community. And after being in such a big funk all day, like I was like crying, and my friend comes over and I just start to regain that confidence and spark. And then I got to dance and just, I don't know, my energy totally 180'd, and I just felt so excited to be there, opening night, just being with all the other dancers. There are only 200 dancers in this performance, and I think 19 dances for the whole thing. It's just such a cool thing to be a part of. And it's like, I'm not a dancer, but I am a dancer, you know, like I've never grown up dancing. I was not trained at all, but it's just a cool thing that we have in the community where untrained adult dancers can just perform on a stage and sell out 4 shows in our community. Like, it's so cool. And also for me, being part of it, it's like, it's something for fun, purely. You know, it's for the enjoyment of being with other people. It's for moving my body. And I don't want to say there's like no purpose to doing something like that, but it's more from like a fun factor. You know what I mean? So it's just really cool seeing how that actually affected me as a person yesterday, and seeing how down I was in the beginning, which is why I didn't really talk to you yesterday or film. And then seeing how I felt afterwards. It's already the afternoon. I am in a time crunch because I have another performance tonight, and I have to finish up these beanies for Ohana still and bring them over on my way down. But just feeling so much better, feeling excited for these new ideas brimming. I will share them soon. If you have any guesses, let me know what you think it is. I've been hinting at a couple of things here and there, but I've just been looking for more ways for us to do stuff together, in person or on Zoom. But spring energy is upon us. If you can't tell, I am feeling it. Well, I totally lost track of time. Did not make it to Ohana, but in some way, that's probably why it's almost nice to be part of a show where you literally have to show up, because it's a performance, but I have to be there. And like with business, a lot of time I'll be like, oh, I didn't get to it, I can push it off for tomorrow. And of course, there are a lot of things where it's non-negotiable for me. And even not business, right? You're like, oh, I'm so busy today, I might as well crank out a couple more pieces of work or whatever instead of going for that walk. But with this, it's like, I have to be there. So anyway, I just thought that was fun and interesting. I will drop those hats off at Ohana tomorrow. It is okay. I have 2 shows tomorrow. So it's here. What a fun week. But I think I'll end the vlog here. I hope this inspires you to find what your play is too. And I'll link that podcast episode down below because it was super interesting. But yeah, thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next video.